Guys, one of the things we want to work on is cleaning up your upper body mobility and posture as quickly as possible. The best way to do that is to make sure that we spend a lot of time outside of the gym reverse posturing. So if you're at the computer all day, it's making a point to get up and move around and get your shoulders extended again. But there are a couple of drills that we can utilize, especially over this holiday season when it's tough to get workouts in, to make sure that you guys can put your best foot forward going into the new year. So after our typical rolling of the pegs, the back, the lats, and all the areas around the shoulder, there's a couple drills that I'd specifically like you to implement at home if you've got some restrictions in your shoulder, because getting back full shoulder flexion, or that ability to reach all the way overhead uncompensated, is important. Tracy's set up here all the way down on the ground with her butt back and head in line, and this is called a seated wall slide. So the advantages of this versus the standing version is that she's all the way against the wall and can't really round her lower back in this position even if she tries. So it's a bit more restrictive. The knees bent like this is going to give her a cue to actually breathe out against. One of the things we find with shoulder restrictions is that breathing patterns are one of the first things to go as well, because we start compensating by using the sternocleidomastoid or scalenes in the neck to kind of pull that rib cage up, and we create a lot of tension and headaches from this kind of breathing pattern. So once she's in position here, she's got a nice neutral head with her chin down. She's going to put her elbows and wrists against the wall and do her wall slide here. So a little more restricted. She's going to take a big breath in at the bottom, pushing her belly out against her thighs, and as she exhales, she's going to go up as high as she can, making that field goal position. Okay, her cue to stop, and she's got great mobility, her cue to stop is going to be when those elbows come off the wall or she's unable to maintain that rotation getting back. Okay, this is a seated wall slide. So we're going to move her over next to sideline windmill. Step out here. All right, one of the areas that's restrictive in shoulders is rotation through this upper part of your spine called the T-spine. So by setting her up on her side with her knee propped up, we've kept her hips level, which is going to make sure that we don't rotate through her lumbar. And Tracy's going to make a big circle reaching open. Okay? This is going to allow her to rotate through that upper part of her spine and really get a lot of range of motion here. Now, she's going to make sure to keep this knee pressed into the roller so that she doesn't get total body rotation, and that we can be sure she's actually getting the rotation through here. So you can see with her limitations, there's a little bit of restriction here. So she's going to go through a few reps of this sideline windmill to help mobilize this upper part of her spine, which is going to give her shoulders a little bit more range of motion when she goes to do that fist-to-fist test. After we open her up here, we're going to do what's called a side-lying internal-external rotation. So she's going to keep the same position. Go ahead and stay open here through her upper back. I'm going to have her press this hand now into my palm as high as we can so she gets a little bit of recruitment through here in her shoulder stabilizers. And then she's going to go back and forth here by tucking her thumb into her back pocket, making sure she's getting a lot of rotation inward. And then she's going to open up slightly, again, turning her thumb out and reaching for the floor. This is going to specifically help the range of motion at the shoulder. So we've got some stabilization, again, going on this side. She's opened up through her upper back, and now she's just working on range of motion at the shoulder joint specifically. This combination of exercises is a great way to start to develop some mobility and stuff that you can knock out pretty quickly on your own time. I suggest you guys give it a shot over the holidays, and if you've got any limitations, this is the kind of work you need to be doing at home to make sure that we're getting the range of motion we need and that you can come in here and do all the overhead pressing and carrying variations that we'd like for you guys to kind of reach that next level.